We've all been there. You're having a perfectly lovely conversation with family or friends. Everybody's laughing. The food's great. Everyone's having a wonderful time until someone says, "What did you think of the debates?" Or, "This environmental stuff, I don't get it. Do you?" Or anything else that comes into the conversation that makes your heart drop and you start to look for the exits. You think, "Oh my gosh, not another one of these." And as you listen, either engaged in a conversation or perhaps you're following something online, you just think some of these people are absolutely delusional. You cannot understand why they feel the way they do, or how could anybody with half a brain believe that? And guess what? They think the same thing about you. So, in this world that's so noisy between our emails and TV and internet, YouTube, all of these different avenues to have this information and noise coming at us, it it's super easy for us to be confused and not to remember that we have the choice to bring love to any conversation we're in. My name is Diane Hayworth. I'm a spiritual coach. I am the founder of the Be Love Principles and the Empowered Spiritual Path. And just like you, I am navigating these conversations online and in person all the time. And I can tell you that when I consciously remember to bring my most loving self to any conversation, it shifts everything. Now, does that mean I leave a conversation and everybody ends up singing Kumbaya and agrees? No. But it also means I am not uncomfortable trying to avoid people or situations. I can meet people where they are, not because, I've got some great, wonderful power, because love does. Because love has the power to meet everybody where they are. And when you choose to live from love, everything shifts. And today we're just going to go ahead and talk about how that happens in difficult conversations. So, again, going back to our situation where you're in a family or a friend environment and this difficult topic comes up. Remember, you have choices. You can choose to engage or not engage. That's the first thing to remember. And if you choose to engage, you can do so from this loving perspective. And how do you know when you're able to do that and when you're not? Well, first of all, check in and see how you feel. If you're feeling fearful, I guarantee you're going to feel a tightness in your chest. Your shoulders might get tight. You might find yourself sweating. You're going to feel constricted. That's what fear feels like. You have a physical response. If you are able to be centered in a more loving spot, first of all, you won't feel your heart beating out of your chest. You're going to be very calm, very centered. Doesn't mean you might not be challenged, but what it does mean is you can feel more expansive and allow people to say what they want to say without you feeling some sort of judgment. Now, as we continue this conversation, let me make sure that I clarify, we're not talking about an abusive situation or where you're in physical danger. Of course, that's not what we're talking about. I'm referring to the daily situations that we all get into, either with our family, friends, or at work, at the grocery store, those kinds of things. So if I decide to engage in that kind of conversation, there's a few tips I want to share with you. These have worked for me and my clients, and I'm hoping they will help you also have a calmer experience. First of all, if you're going to talk to someone, be present. Really listen to them without already forming that rebuttal in your head. And by that, I mean, I want you to look at them, to listen to them intently, and to really be present to what they're saying. This doesn't mean you agree. It's simply being respectful of another human that has an opinion that may or may not be the same as yours. But just being present and respectful allows people to be seen and heard. And just that one thing will often take the temperature down in a heated argument, by the way. If you choose to respond, if you feel called to, or if you're asked about your opinion, do so authentically. I'm not asking you to hide your opinion. If you choose to engage, then answer honestly, share your opinion, and leave it at that. You don't have to convince anybody. You're just sharing an opinion. And again, we're going to understand and remember that you don't have to share an opinion either. If you'd rather not speak about something, it's absolutely fine to say that. The other thing I'd like to remind you is that if you engage in a conversation, forget about being right. This is not about being right, who's right and who's wrong. Your idea of right and wrong most likely has shifted over the decades. I certainly know mine has. And I have never in my life convinced someone that they were wrong and I was right when there was some sort of a confrontation. Tell you what else happens. When I am so focused on being right, I lose the opportunity to really connect to someone and to learn about what they're saying. If you don't have any space in your mind or heart in the conversation to hear what they're saying, you're not going to learn anything and there'll be no connection. So you're the one that will also miss out. So forget about being right. This is just about sharing. Conversations that are about sharing, much different. The energy is much different than when you've got two people and each one wants to be right. What usually happens is nobody listens to anybody. And I'm sure you've had that experience because I know I have. One of the absolute best ways I have ever found, hands down, to being involved in a conversation from love is by practicing the very first Be Love principle. Now, the Be Love principles are a set of 4 statements that can be used individually or together as a process, and they help you go from a ego or personality-based constricted perspective to a more divine, expansive view. Now, I'll have all the information down here in the description, so you don't have to worry about that right now. But I do want to introduce you to this first principle, and this is what it is. Greet everyone with an open heart without an agenda. Let me repeat that. Greet everyone with an open heart without an agenda. Yeah, I know how that sounds. I've been practicing this for years and I still have problems with it. But I can tell you, when you can embrace, even start to embrace this principle, it shifts your entire life in everything. So if you wanted to follow this principle, how would you do it? Well, let me give you a couple tips. First of all, to me, it always helps to be actively practicing some heart centering and heart opening exercises. So what would that be? Practicing gratitude, doing heart-centered breathing, which is simply just putting your hand on your heart and imagining breathing in and out through your heart. It's that simple. Meditation, spending time in nature, all of these help us be more centered in our heart. That right there is a game changer. One of the other things I love to do is to suggest to my clients and students to just spend a couple minutes a day recalling really joyful, happy moments. With all the noise that we're all surrounded with now, it's easy to buy into the fear and the worry and the stress and the what ifs. Even spending a couple minutes a day just remembering what is beautiful and joyful in your life, in your environment, it changes everything. That could be that you dig out a favorite picture from childhood or maybe from a vacation, and you just put it on your refrigerator or your bathroom mirror every day. So you remember, oh, yeah, that was a beautiful time I had. Maybe you look out the window and you have a beautiful view that a lot of times you forget to enjoy because you're stuck in that fear. Spend a few minutes a day really remembering just a beautiful, joyful, happy moment. And I guarantee you'll have more of them. 2 more things I want to suggest to you. One of those is forget your agendas. So what do I mean by that? This principle says greet everyone with an open heart without an agenda. So we just talked about some of the ways you can open your heart. Well, what the heck does that without an agenda mean? Okay, so here's the challenging part. And you can do this. If you've already made it this far in the video, I know you're going to get this. When we come to conversations with our preconceived notions, we have our judgments set. We have resentments or fears, or we're bringing anything from the past. We cannot be fully present for that conversation. And it will indeed color that situation for us. We can't greet someone with an open heart if we already have an opinion about them, good or bad, by the way. And what that does is it limits what you can experience in the moment. Really connecting with someone heart to heart, which is not about their opinions. When you can really be with someone who they really are, which is the love of who they're made with. It's we're all made with. We're all made with love. But when you can relate to that part of them and understand they have opinions and maybe their own judgments, but you don't have to. When you can meet someone and greet them and be with them from that heart-to-heart perspective, everything changes. Everything changes. And the last thing I wanted to bring to your attention is nothing outside you is going to change until you change. Now, this is not a new concept. Again, if you're this far in the video, you've heard it many times. But what I would invite you to do is every morning when you get up, go into the bathroom mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and imagine what it would be like to greet yourself with an open heart, without an agenda. Greet yourself without any judgments from your past, without expectations, without your fears. Greet yourself. Look at yourself in the eyes. Just imagine. What does love see? What does God, the universe, spirit, whatever that word is for you, what does God see when they look at me? I guarantee you it's not wrinkles, it's not gray hair, it's not past successes or failures. None of that matters. When you can greet yourself like that, it is so much easier to greet others. And when you are much more settled in yourself, treating yourself, greeting yourself with love, understanding the human part of you makes mistakes, we all do, and always choosing at the best you can every day, moment to moment, to live from love. And when you forget, then you just go back and correct it and say, what can I do from here? How can I greet myself? How can I greet this moment? How can I greet this person? How can I greet this situation with an open heart without an agenda? That's where the magic is, my friend. When you go to those family or friend events with that kind of energy, life is magic. Okay. I really hope you could feel the beauty that comes in when you are living from love, even if you're just attempting to. That's what we all do, the best we can every day. If this is the kind of content that resonates with you, thank you so much. And please hit that like button, subscribe, share this with your friends. And if you want to be part of the conversation, join our Empowered Spiritual Path membership. All the information will be below, and I would just love to see you and be able to talk to you about these beautiful topics that make a difference together, the more of us who choose to live a more loving, compassionate, respectful life, this is how we create the kind of world we want to live in and what we want to leave to the next generation. Okay. Love you lots, and I'll see you next time.